This is a movie review for Batman, the first initial Batman, the one with Michael Keaton from 1989, and I watched it on the big screen, on the silver screen, because Lowe's has this classic series. Thankfully, a big thank you to Lowe's for bringing us movies, some of which I've never seen, and many of which I've never seen on the silver screen, and I get to see for the first time, and I'm thrilled because, contrary to the belief many people have that it's the same thing watching a movie on your smartphone or your tablet and on the silver screen, I think that in reality the hypnotic virtue and character of the silver screen is unmatched by any other medium through which you can appreciate and enjoy a movie. So although I watched this initial Batman many a time, and though my initial, well, to say appreciation would be a gross understatement because I was enchanted the first time I watched it. And then over the years I rewatched it on video, and I bought the DVD, which was surprisingly hard to find, by the way, and I don't know why. I couldn't find the DVD for a long time. Had it not been released, I don't know. Maybe a copyright issue. But anyway, over the years I rewatched it, and my initial the initial mesmerizing effect diminished because you start noticing details, and then, let's face it, it's been 30 years since that movie came out, and the technical advances make the I don't know if you can even call it CGI, what they did back then in '89. So they make the special effects of that time seem almost laughable. Certainly, archaic by today's standards. But it's one huge virtue. Its one big virtue was the fact that it's a Tim Burton movie, and I think that Tim Burton is, well, I don't want to throw out the term genius, but he's definitely one of the most recognizable directors who definitely has a whole imagery and point of view and atmosphere, most importantly, in his mind, and you can watch a movie and tell that it's one of his, this gothic atmosphere that only he can create. It's the same as with David Lynch movie. Only David Lynch can make a David Lynch movie. It's something straight out of his subconscious. So anyway, I came to realize again that my reduced appreciation of this original Batman was not due to the fact that I watched it on smaller screens over the years, because here I was today watching it again on a big screen, and although I saw it as a tribute to a time gone by, I couldn't fail to see the technical insufficiencies, I'd say, again in comparison with today's advancements, and I I was thinking that what Roger Ebert said that it was Nolan, Christopher Nolan, who hit the right note with his virtue of a version of Batman. I came to see that he was probably right, because although Tim Burton's Batman was, of course, very much removed from the cartoonish, comedic, absurd version of the TV series, it did retain a cartoonish character, and in its inception, I think Batman, as it was conceived by Bob Kane, did not have this cartoonish aspect. I don't know how it got tagged on to this specific character. For example, I don't think it's happened with Superman. I think Superman has retained his integrity as a character through the years. But for some reason, people thought that they could attribute comedic, cartoonish qualities to Batman, and I don't see why, especially because Batman was conceived as a darker, more three-dimensional counterpart to Superman, so one would expect Superman to be the the character that would have attracted more comedic takes, and yet that never happened. I don't know why. So anyway, my appreciation of the movie remains. You know, I love Michael Keaton as Batman. In my mind, he's the best one. Despite everything I said, I don't like Christian Bale in general. Forgive me for saying that, but I don't. He's one of the actors that I don't particularly enjoy watching. I don't find him especially likable. And you know, there was this whole debacle with and the footage from him yelling at his at the crew of the film he was making. So maybe I was influenced by that, but I don't recall myself ever being particularly enamored by Christian Bale. But I've always liked Michael Keaton, even in his less likable roles, like Pacific Heights. You know, I think he's a great actor, and I think, and as I say in another video, that his his riff on his role as Batman in his most recent movie, The Birdman, is, I think, unfortunate. You know, I wish he hadn't made Birdman. You know, you'll hear me rant about this in the associated video, but I think the whole movie was ill-conceived, and Michael Keaton being cast in it and his acceptance of the role, I think, was unfortunate. I still enjoy watching him, but I didn't appreciate his portrayal of, you know, an aging, has-been, you know, superhero actor. Especially because I think it disrespects his Batman, which I think, as I said, is the best in my view. But if you get the chance to see the original, and of course it has the genius of Jack Nicholson, who is superb. It has the rare beauty of Kim Basinger, you know, the unsurpassed. Kim Basinger, you know, no one would call her a good actress. I don't think she's by any stretch a good actress, although I think she did get an Oscar for LA Confidential. I was thinking as I was watching the movie, but I don't know. In Batman, at least, because I haven't seen, I think, L.A. Confidential, but in Batman, at least, I think her acting was laughable. But she has this star quality and this presence and this rare beauty that eclipse her shortcomings as an actress. And it's the same with these rare few movie stars, which are on the one hand rare and on the other hand have this presence that makes up for any lack of talent. And another example is Keanu Reeves, who is one of my favorite actors of all time, but I've never thought him to be like a good actor. But he has an amazing presence on the screen. And from things I've read about him, he must be a really nice guy. I've never heard one bad thing about him, and he's never involved in scandals. And I appreciate the fact that although he's stayed in Hollywood, that you never hear him associated with scandals, most of which I think are spun and created by the actors themselves. I mean, yes, there is this vulture culture of the paparazzi, but I don't think that every single actor is followed 24/7 by paparazzi, especially the lesser ones. So, but anyway, I would never consider telling anyone not to watch Batman on a large screen if they have a chance, because in my view, it's a wonderful. It remains a wonderful movie.